Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7, just a couple to a few months away at this point to being launched, pre-ordered, and in your hand. And more information is coming out about this phone. This feature is ridiculous. How much it has changed since the first generation to 7 years later, which I know is a really, really long time. But in the grand scheme of things, with the way phones have not been changing throughout the years within the last decade all that much, this is a huge change. Now, this is what the phone looks like, the Z Fold 6, when it is closed and folded. And Samsung's looking to be the #1 phone in terms of the size of this unfolded. So in the past, we've had the Galaxy Z Fold coming in at 17.1 millimeters when it's folded, the thickness. And then it dropped down to 16.8, dropped down to 16. The Fold 4 was at 15.8, Fold 5, 13.4, which is a major change. Then it got down to 12.2 with the Fold 6, which we're like, hey, this thing's skinnier, it's lighter. And now it's dropping all the way down to 8.2. This is gonna be more than half of the thickness that a regular Galaxy Fold was, the original Fold. And it's still half the size when it's folded up of the Fold 2 and almost the Fold 3 and Fold 4 as well. This is insane how much they've taken off on this phone. And the battery hasn't changed all that much. It's about, I think it's 100 milliamps less than it was on those previous generations of phone. So that hasn't changed, but the power of this thing is way more powerful than obviously all the previous generations. Still has 12 gigs of RAM, still has a good size amount of storage in there. Everything is better or the same, and it's so much thinner. Like, it's insanely thinner, and the phone doesn't get hot. I mean, we'll see what happens with this one since it's so thin. It's still gonna have the full 8 cores, and at 8.2 millimeters folded, this is supposed to be the thinnest foldable phone ever folded, even more than the Oppo Find N5. When it's unfolded, Oppo Find N5 is still thinner, but when it's folded up, Galaxy Z Fold 7 is supposed to be the thinnest in the world. So it's absolutely insane. And if you think about it, what's more important, when it's unfolded like this or when it's folded like this? Where do you want it to be thinner? I'll be honest with you, probably when it's like this. The reason being is when it's like this, you're not putting it into your pocket. You could probably, potentially, but you're probably not going to unless you have really wide pockets. You're going to fold it all up and throw it in your pocket, and it fits. Obviously it fits like this, but it's gonna fit a whole hell of a lot better when it's like this thickness, thinner than this. It's insane, guys. Really nice feature upgrade coming to the Galaxy Z Fold 7. We're 2 months away. Another major reason you'd want to upgrade to this phone, guys. Beyond the more power in here, the better cameras, the bigger displays on the outside and on the in, the better, I already said the better cameras. It's awesome. So looking forward to this. I can't say it. I can't wait. Did you guys see my watch along that I released earlier today about the Galaxy, the original Galaxy Z Fold launch? You gotta watch it. It's gonna be at the end of the video. Just click on it as one of those videos that's tagged on there. It's a great, interesting piece to watch again, especially knowing what we know now about the Galaxy Z Fold 7 and the Galaxy Z Fold 1. There's some big changes in there that have happened and some things that you're like, wow, I didn't even remember that. So watch it after this video. But anyways, today's video is all about Samsung's Galaxy G Fold, the tri-folding phone coming from Samsung. They have actually spoken about it in their earnings call for Q1 2025, and they went on to say that during their latest earnings call, Samsung hinted at the latest generation of foldable technology. And what they go on to say is that the company mentioned plans to innovate the form factor and deliver large screen experiences, potentially indicating their 9.9-inch tri-folding phone. Remember, their tri-folding phone is supposed to be up to 9.9 inches, which is a little bit smaller than the Huawei Mate tri-fold phone. Possible launch date for the tri-fold phone was suggested during the earnings call, which we'll talk about in a second. Samsung's foldable strategy aims to offer large screen experiences for fold, and I'm all in for that. I love that. I love these big screen phones. Samsung intends to innovate on the form factor for foldable phones. They're not obviously saying the word trifold, but there's only so many things you can do with just a single fold, like we have now with the Galaxy Z Fold line. This means, they're going to innovate and bring that G Fold phone to the masses. Samsung's rumors suggest that Samsung's trifold phone could feature a 9.9-inch display like we mentioned. The device, potentially named Galaxy G Fold, is rumored to be unveiled in July and released later this year. So we potentially are going to see this phone on their launch date for Samsung Unpacked in July, and I would guess what they're going to do is they're going to show off the Z Flip and the Z Fold phones, and then at the end of the show, they're going to say, we have something special. We have the Galaxy G Fold, our first tri-folding phone. Remember, this phone is most likely going to be limited to Korea and China, and if you're going to want to get it, you're going to have to import it, and it's going to cost even more. It's most likely going to be $3,000 or close to it. When you think about their regular folding phones, that's $2,000. This is probably going to be $3,000 or $3,500. You have to guess at the very least. I'd be shocked if it's $2,500 or less. Completely shocked. I think it's going to be $3,000. And then also, you got to remember, with limited availability, price, it's just going to be hard to get. I don't think they're going to make 1 million of these. Even if you want to import it, it's going to be hard to get. You're going to pay even more from somebody that already has it because it's going to be limited supply. So, as much as I want this phone and as much as I want it to come out here in the States and the rest of the world and get it in hand, I don't want to dish out $3,000. I mean, that's my guess of what it's going to cost. But at least they're on their way back to innovating and coming out with new devices, because they haven't really come out with the new devices in a while. They got their new Edge phone, which is a really slimmed down version of the S25 Ultra. And then they also have this phone, their tri-folding phone. So which phone do you think is more interesting, the Edge or the tri-fold or a regular fold? Let me know in the comments down below. Now we're getting to the end. Watch that video next about the launch. Let me know what you think. And I'm potentially going to end up most likely doing a series. I'm going to watch all 7 or 6, I should say, throughout the upcoming weeks as we get closer to the Fold 7 launch. Man, we got a couple of stories about video games. Then we're going to talk about the Galaxy One UI 8 software. So first of all, let's talk about Xbox. If you're an Xbox gamer, man, prices are going up a lot. And it's crazy because Xbox sells pretty well, but not compared to PlayStation and Nintendo. And their prices are going, like I said, mightily, mightily high. The latest information on that is that the Xbox Series S is going up to $379. Basically, almost everything's going up about $100, if not more. The S1 terabyte, $429. The Xbox Series X Digital, $549. The Series X, $599, which has a disc and digital. And then the 2 terabyte Xbox Series X is going to $729. Crazy, crazy prices. I mean, even the PlayStation 5 Pro, which is more powerful than the Xbox, any of the Xboxes, that's cheaper, if I'm not, I think it's $699. So it's even cheaper than the 2 terabyte Series X. It's crazy what these prices have gone up to. Obviously it has to do with tariffs. They said market conditions. It's a lot. And the games even, I don't even think it has it on there. The games are going up to $80, $79 per game. They were like, what, $59, $69 for first party games. They're now $79. So very expensive. Get ready to get those wallets out because, again, things are gonna be wild. This is a super cool story, and that is Fortnite will return to the United States in the iOS App Store after the court finds that Apple willfully violated court order in Epic Games suit. So Epic owns Fortnite. I play Fortnite crazy amount. I have like so many hours, it's embarrassing. I think it's like almost 80 days worth of game time. But what happened basically is that it looks like they've won the court case pretty much, or whatever they're trying to do, and they're gonna put their app back into the iOS store for iPads and iPhones next week. I don't know exactly which day, but next week. And you'll be able to download it and play it. It's already available in Europe. I already know that part. But the US obviously is a huge market for this. And yeah, the issue they had going on between each other is that they gave Fortnite gave customers a kind of a backdoor way of buying things without having to go through the iOS store. Apple didn't like that, kicked them off the store, and then that's kind of what that's about. And yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. And basically, Fortnite said if we'll drop our lawsuits against you if you just let us go basically in your store again, and everything will be closed out. But yeah, US next week. This is awesome. Do you guys play Fortnite, and have you been wanting to play it on your iPhone or iPad? Let us know in the comments down below. This is pretty cool. RAM Plus, which has been part of Samsung Galaxy phones for a while now. It used to be maxed out between 2 gigabytes to 8 gigabytes. It's now going to be able to use 12 gigabytes of virtual RAM memory. I'll be honest with you, I haven't noticed like any difference with this stuff. I have seen people say, hey, just put 2 on there. It works better than putting 8. And then I've turned it off, and I don't know if I noticed much of a difference, honestly, with performance of my phone with RAM Plus, but you'll be able to put in 12 gigabytes of virtual RAM. So basically it takes your internal storage from your phone and turns that into RAM, virtual RAM, and it's supposed to make your phone run better, have more apps open, and just get better performance. Again, I don't really notice much of a difference, and if anything, I've seen from other people writing about it, it's like they think the opposite. They think the more RAM you're putting, the worse performance. So, whatever. Man, Galaxy Z Flip 7 and Fold 7 might be a lot more different than we previously thought, and it's going back and forth. Now, let's talk about the Flip 7 first. Flip 7, the rumors coming out is that it will use an Exynos 2500 processor inside, not the Snapdragon 8 Elite. The reason being is they're trying to cut costs on the Galaxy Z Flip 7. I don't know if it's because of tariffs. I don't know if it's because just materials in general are really expensive, and they're trying to find ways that they can cut cost with it, and they're going to use the Exynos 2500 on it. But again, it keeps going back and forth. It was originally this, then it was going to the 8 Elite, and then it's going back to this. So I'll believe it when I actually see it in writing. But as of this moment, Exynos 2500 on the Galaxy Z Flip 7. Now, what about the Fold 7? We've been pretty concrete in all the listenings and leakings that we've heard about the Galaxy Z Fold 7 having a Snapdragon 8 Elite processor. It's had a Snapdragon processor just like the Flip has forever. But is it going to change on the Fold 7? It looks like it's going to stick with the Snapdragon 8 Elite, which is wonderful news. I don't think the Exynos 2500 is going to be really bad. I think it's still run really, really well. But we know when you're looking at both of these processors, Snapdragon is literally 1 and 2, usually #1 processor on the Android side in terms of performance. Sometimes the Dimensity from MediaTek either can clip it a little bit or come really close, but generally the Snapdragon 8 Elite is the processor you want on your Android phone. It's outperforming on multi-core scores over the iPhone and basically every other device that's a mobile on the market today. So, Flip 7 not having a Snapdragon processor, I mean, most people probably won't even know. I mean, the majority of the people that buy this phone, probably more than 80%, won't even notice a difference. Maybe they will, but they won't know. They're not gonna be like, oh, this doesn't have a Snapdragon. They're just gonna see whatever, Exynos 2500, if they even notice that on the phone. As long as the phone feels fast, isn't buggy, doesn't overheat, and runs well, people will be happy. Now, if it's incrementally better than last generation, again, they probably won't know or care as long as it just runs really well. And I think it will do that. The people that are going to care are going to be like the people that watch my videos, people like me, people that want the best that you can get, especially when you're paying the best. Now, these two phones, there's a big difference in terms of cost between them. They're both half the cost. The Flip 7 is about half the cost of a Fold 7, or nearly close to it. But at the end of the day, Fold 7 sticking looking like with the 8 Elite, which is great news. And we'll see. Maybe the Flip 7 will turn around and end up going with the Snapdragon as well. And the news is that we've talked about how the Galaxy Z Fold 7 potentially is the thinnest phone when it's closed up. Well, it looks like that might not be true. The information that's coming out is saying that it might not be. It's saying, the rumor is that it's going to be 8.2 millimeters thick when it's closed. And it looks like, again, that might not be. I don't have an exact measurement of what it would be, but as of right now, it might not be true. It might, so I don't think it's going to end up being the thinnest foldable when it's closed up, but I don't know exactly what those dimensions would be when it is closed up, how much of a difference it is going to be more than 8.2. Now, is that the end of the world? Not by a long shot. Now, it would be cool, especially if they're not making the battery bigger or anything else bigger. Would it be cool if it was that thin? Definitely. I would definitely be cool with that. Definitely be down with that. I think it'd be a great reason to potentially get that phone because it's so thin. But I still think obviously it'll be thinner than what we get with the Galaxy Z Fold 6. And it's easy to do that because they have that going on with it being a wider phone, and when it's wider you can thin things out, especially if you're not making the battery bigger. You are making the camera a little bit bigger, but beyond that, there's no reason that it has to be so thick. So you can thin things out, and that makes total sense. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't say this is a terrible, bad reason you shouldn't upgrade it, because it potentially is not going to be the thinnest or one of the thinnest folding phones. I think it will be one of the thinnest when it's closed. It just might not be the thinnest like we had previously mentioned. But remember, as rumors and these kind of things go round and round, they always go back and forth. You can look at the Galaxy Z Flip 7. It keeps going back from the Exynos 2500 to the Snapdragon 8 Elite. I can guarantee it's probably going to go back again one more time to the 8 Elite, and then eventually, before game time, we'll get the real answer. We've heard in the past of phones having 16 gigs of RAM, and a day or two before the phone comes out, they're like, no, only has 12. So don't freak out about it. It might change again. It might be locked in. It might be real. But as more information comes out, I will definitely let you guys know, because I'm just as excited about the Z Fold 7 as you guys are. What I wanted to talk about was the news, though, and we're going to talk about the Galaxy S25 Edge first. There is the reservation period is going on right now in the UK. Not here in America just yet, but in the UK it has started. And what you get with it is you put $50 down, and then you get $100 off the cost of the phone when you buy it, and then you get $50 in credit later when the phone is ready to be actually paid for completely. Not a bad deal. I don't think they'll do something like that here in America if they end up doing a pre-order, a pre-order, and that is because usually in America we don't have to put down any money to reserve it. You just reserve it, you lock it in and check it in, and what you end up getting with that is you just don't have to put $50 down, but you get all the same things that the UK gets. So we'll see if they end up doing it out here. I know they are launching it out here at the very least, and people will be getting their hands on it here in America, but it's just a matter of them getting the reservation period going, which I assume is probably going to start, if they do it in America, it's going to start this week, probably tomorrow or the next day. And if they do, I'll give you guys a link to get situated with that. The other story is that the Galaxy Z Fold 7, like we mentioned in the past, is in production. But then the other cool part of that is so are accessories. So if you've been wanting the Galaxy Z Fold 7 or Flip 7, the accessories are going to be ready on time. They're already starting production with that, meaning have it be cables or cases, magnets, whatever they end up coming out with in terms of things for it. It will happen, and it's all in line. And it looks like the Galaxy Z Fold 7 will launch on time. Doesn't seem like any delays will hit it because of everything being created and manufactured and all that stuff, have the accessories and the phone itself. Let me know, guys, what you think about the S25 Edge, if you're going to pre-order it, if it happens or not. And in the UK, have you seen it yet? Let me know. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you down the road. Peace.